All right. Here we go. Tonight we are going to go over cumin. There is healing herbs. There is a lot of healing herbs. And what is awesome about this is there's about something for everyone. There's something for almost everybody for these healing herbs. The thing about it is most people run to the doctor and they believe their doctor and they listen to their doctor, which is fine. But these are what Yahweh created, right? This is what he made that we could heal ourselves, the healing in the leaves, the healing in the herbs. So we will start. We have the black cumin seed powder, and there's enough for everybody. Enough for everyone, right? There it is. So let's get started. It aids in digestion. It helps stimulate the glands. It's responsible for digesting food, contains fiber, which helps treat or prevent hemorrhoids and combats gas. A lot of these things, what we find is it helps just like general everything, everyday problems, as well as more problems. Now, this is a good one here because, you know, especially in the last couple of years, everybody said their immunity's down and this is happening and all this. So it's amazing that nobody's come out and said, well, gee, let's try some of this stuff. Boost immune system, contains vitamin C, which boosts immunity, combats stress, fights inflammation, and lowers your blood pressure. So again, with all these, we have to be careful in the lowering of the blood pressure and what it does. But for many people, they have high blood pressure, especially seems like the older they get, the higher their blood pressure gets to, right? Treats respiratory disorders. Oh my goodness. Why didn't we hear about this kind of stuff? Why have we not heard what's really going on? Again, we hear from CDC and all these doctors and smart people, but they never tell us the right things to do, it seems like, other than go to your doctor and spend lots of money. Aids in clearing mucus from respiratory system, also helps heal respiratory illness such as asthma. So maybe people that's been smokers and smoked and done things for a long time and they start getting bronchitis, asthma, the things of the lungs, then this could help out for sure. Promotes skin health. Now, again, a lot of people, when they're getting up in the age or a little bit older, they get those little things on their hands and the little bumps and things like that. You see the older people have them. Well, we have all kinds of things that would help that out. Contains vitamin E, which helps reduce inflammation and fight aging. Speeds up cell regeneration and healing scars, acne, and wrinkles. So a lot of these things, again, can really help our body. They can really do a lot of amazing things. And again, why not try it? Why not see, why not try it and see if it works? Insomnia. I believe a lot of that is what's going on in today's world. There's a lot of problems, a lot of things. You just can't disconnect your mind in some things, right? There's a lot of things that you're thinking about and all this. So this can help. Aids in digestion and treating disorders that can lead to chronic insomnia. There's all kinds of things, again, that can lead to that, but this helps a calming effect to help you calm your body. Prevents diabetes. Now, with these type of things, I would also submit that, too much ice cream, cake, sweets, and all those things would probably be a pretty good thing to watch out for as well. But again, it helps with these as well. It reduces the chances of hypoglycemia and helps improve glucose intolerance. My big question to this again is, why is this not classes in school? Why is this not being taught in high school? We get all these classes And some of them we never really use again, right? And some of these things that we should be taught that would help these things and our life and our lifestyle, it just seems to be only the doctor's advice. Only, we only can find this when we pay lots of money, and they're the only ones smart enough to figure this out. But that's not what I believe is true. Has antiviral and antibacterial properties. Helps fight viral and bacterial infections of all kinds, even fights harmful strains of E. coli. Oh my gosh. It does what? See, it's amazing, again, that we are buffaloed into all this stuff, that we can only have this one thing that, other people come up with. But there's all kinds of things that we have at our fingertips, in our gardens, if you will, that we should have. If you look outside, all these things that are growing, all these trees, why are they not fruit trees? Why are there not pear trees, sassumas? I mean, imagine who could go hungry if we had all these growing in our parks? Who would go? But again, there's something probably a little bit more to this than what meets the eye, right? High source of iron, helps reduce the risk of conjugative disorders such as Alzheimer's and dementia. Helps treat anemia. I mean, this is like the wonder drug, right? It's like treats so much stuff, but other than just like a food additive or sitting on top of your noodles or something, and that's really not what gets anything done. If you're going to have this and do these things, you really got to use a little bit of it. You hear about turmeric and all these other things, or even this, and it's like sprinkle a pinch on top of your spaghetti. Well, that's not really going to do much. You got to get it into your system and get it to work. And the same thing for here. And what we're trying to combat in many cases is we're trying to combat years and years of garbage living, if you will. A lot of things that's, whether it be mercury or aluminum or whatever goes into your mind, that goes into your brain, if you will, then that's what you're trying to stop, clear out, get rid of. And, this is what these are trying to do for you. High source of bone strengthening calcium. This should have a label. It should be like everybody over 60, right? I mean, all these elderly people, it's amazing that a lot of elderly people have these same reoccurring things, but they won't do a thing about it. And even people, I started this because of our learning these things, finding out what can be the cure, what can help, what can we do to help ourselves instead of trusting in someone else who don't even believe. How do you go to believers and trust someone who's supposedly got a doctor's degree in something, but we don't really know what? We really don't know their motives. And a lot of times the motives are not the best. So I would submit the best thing we can do is help ourselves. Then when we get older, hopefully we don't have these osteoporosis and the bent over and all these, all these things that we see that are older generation and elders, if you will, that they're all bent over, their hands and they just don't work right. And anybody you ask that's a little bit older will say, oh, that's old age. But we see in scriptures that old age people was ready for war. We see people, I've seen 86-year-old men on paddle boards in California paddling away. So, there's something we're missing somewhere, or something we're eating, something we're doing that if we're not careful, we're not doing right. Helps relax sore muscles and build strong bones. Hey, it sounds like milk, right? Does the body good, reducing chances of osteoporosis. Promotes detoxification, contains phosphorus, which is important for kidney function and helping the body detox itself naturally. There's some of these things that are potentially hazardous for your body that some of the doctors and some of these people are promoting, that it can hurt your kidneys, it can hurt your liver, it can, hurt your body kind of bad. And a lot of people don't care because they're trying to get something done quickly, right? Something really quickly done. So we have to be careful. And sometimes it takes a while, right? If it took you 40 years to get your problem, it's probably going to take you a little bit to get rid of it out of those 40 years of life, right? Oh my goodness, another one. Prevents cancer, contains vitamin C and A, which boosts the immune system and combat oxidative stress, lowering the risk for cancer. So a bunch of these have them same properties. They help remove the toxins from your bodies. They help, and everybody is different. So what works for somebody and what works for somebody else may be different, but there's also different types of cancer, right? Lymphoma, leukemia, breast cancer, skin cancer, melanoma, there's all kinds of different types of cancers. So you have to kind of target it, just like anything else, what you're trying to combat, which makes sense, right? So we'll go back up and read a little bit more of what we can find out. And it's kind of the same thing we just went over, but we'll aids the digestion, right? It is known to stimulate the glands that secrete acids, bile, and enzymes. Anytime that you're trying to get rid of toxins or things in your body, then you want to get rid of the bad things. You can't build up too much bile. You can't build up too much enzymes. Even if you have a cancer and you let that build up, it can be the uric acid, the things that you're trying to get rid of can poison your body. So a lot of these things you want to get rid of as quickly and as efficiently as you quite possibly can. The cumin seeds are high fiber foods. They work to stimulate the digestive system, to fight constipation. There's the irritable bowel syndrome, IBS. There's all kinds of things that, again, this one here can do, and others as well. It just kind of depends really on what you need your body to do or what you need your body to help out with. But it's pretty clear that a lot of people need their boost in the immune system because of what they're eating, what they're getting. You go to McDonald's or you go to these places. I know a lot of people don't, but some people do. A lot of people do. Obviously, they're still open. But when you go to these places and that stuff that's in there, a lot of that can be very, detrimental to your body and how it works. And the reason I can say that is because how many people that ate McDonald's and, live their life this way, when they get older, they end up with all these diseases and problems, and yet they still continue down that path. So we have to know how to at least combat that before it's too late, because there's nothing worse than finding out you got cancer, you got this, you got that, and you have no kind of idea of what to do about it. So again, it's antiseptic, anti-inflammatory. It helps with your fungus, with your different, all kinds of things to help your body help itself. Can also increase your vitamin C intake. Vitamin C, even if you're catching a cold, if you're about to get a cold or you feel yourself feeling that way, if you basically almost overdose on vitamin C, if there is such a thing, but you take so much, it builds your immunity up, and it can actually stop like sneezing and coughing and keep you from getting the common cold or the flu or, whatever it's called. But you have to be careful in taking too much of anything. And you have to be careful in especially these ones that are doing things to your body and you can usually tell if it helps your body or not, right? Go back over the respiratory disorders. There's so many people with these respiratory disorders. Now, whatever it's coming from, whatever it is, the only thing we can do is do our best to try and keep our respiratory system working, right? In this world, there's just so much going on that it's hard to, for a lot of people, right? There's just so much to keep their body working and going, right? You have to just be careful in what you get yourself into. I mean, a lot of doctors and a lot of things, we have to understand that a lot of them are just trying to get you to keep coming back. Most of it's not a cure. Most of the things that they're doing is not really a cure. These are meant to be a cure, a proven cure that, you know, from the Chinese, the Indians, India, that they still use them today. So a lot of these go back thousands of years that they're using these things to help. With all that being said, let's go on. Again, the asthma, the respiratory illness that causes bronchial muscle spasms, swelling of the lungs lining, and increased mucus production, leading to the inability to breathe. A lot of people don't even know what they have. They go to the doctor and they say they have asthma, or they have bronchitis, or they have this, or they have that, and they don't really know what that means. So they really can't do much about it, right? I mean, if you don't know other than the name of it, and even if you look it up, if you got swelling in your lungs, or if your lungs are filling up, you know, you need to know, if you're going to go to a doctor and have that done, at least know what's wrong with you. There's people that's taking treatments and they can't rightfully say what's wrong with them. They say this and say that, but they don't really have a proof or a picture of what's going on. And that's sad, you know, especially with knowing people are so greedy. And I think a lot of people are, you know, they wouldn't do that to me. They wouldn't do this. They wouldn't do that. But when you're talking money and greed, people will do all kinds of terrible things if left, you know, to their devices. Obesity, infections, allergies, exercise, stress, or hormonal imbalances. So again, trying to keep in shape, trying to do what you can to stay in shape, trying to do all you can, especially when it's wintertime, it's cold, or maybe there's a sickness, illness, and, you know, you sit around and eat a bunch of stuff and you get overweight. That can deter and help, you know, promote a lot of bad lifestyle things as well. They're rich and powerful antitoxins that work to reverse signs of aging and damage to the skin. Its antifungal and antibacterial properties can also help improve the skin infections. So somebody who has infections, sores, different things on them, again, a lot of the elderly, a lot of the old folks' homes, right? They have a lot of these problems with their skin and bed sores and things like that. Here would be a great thing. Here would be something that, you know, that you could actually use and they could use, and wouldn't it be great, right? Right. So insomnia, we went over that. It may help in insomnia. So, you know, the vitamins, the complex, the things in it to help a lot of the good digestion. A lot of times what we do, I think, is we eat a lot of junk too. As Americans, maybe not you personally, but I think a lot of times we eat a lot of junk and that causes a problem. And when we get time for sleep, what do? We get bored, we get tired, and we eat a whole bunch more junk before we go to bed. And then we have a problem all the way around because we're not really made probably to, you know, eat all that junk right before bedtime. Our food is more for the intake of our bodies and to, help our bodies heal, for energy, all these things of this nature. So again, it's pretty cut and dried. It's pretty easy when we're going over these. The biggest thing I would submit to you is finding the one that works for you. If you have gout, if you have liver problems, I know people right now that they ask for prayer, they ask for this, they ask for that, but they don't really help themselves. It's like, you can help yourself too. You can help take something and maybe it might help your skin. It might really do what they're saying it does, because a lot of these times they're not just something we find on the internet. It's something that people have taken and they've tried and they've, given and given and given, and it helps other people out. So again, it's not just something to do, it's something to find out what we need, what you need to prevent what's going on with you. Now, in closing, we'll go over a few more here. Help prevent diabetes. Again, I know people that are, borderline diabetic, are diabetic, and their kidneys, and they're this, and they're that, and the list goes on. But yet, we have, 3-4 people, right? So the main people that need this, and I'm not saying you don't need it, but the main people who have these major problems, it's like, I don't know why you wouldn't at least try some of these things to help your body out. So let's go on. Sweating, shakiness, weakness, clumsiness. There's a good one, clumsiness. If you got clumsiness, then this is a thing for you, right? That's right. If you trip over your feet, then the Cumin black powder, buy it by the bag and get you a bunch of it. I'm just saying. Trouble talking. There's a lot of this going on after what's going on in the last 2 years. There's people having trouble talking. It's like their mind is still working pretty good, but when it comes out of their mouth, they start not talking correctly, or they can't engage their mind and their mouth, just to put it what it is. And that's some sad things, especially in the elderly and things like that, frustrating, I would think too, if you just can't talk and you can't say what you're trying to converse, right? Then that would be a terrible thing. So again, confusion. I know some of these people, and you can see this all over them. And you could send them a bag of the stuff, and they still wouldn't take it. So I don't, all right, right. It's just sad that we have all these here, all these, herbs at our fingertips. We can take, we can try, and I try them, and, I really don't have any problems. Other than I need about 3 of me to do those things. But other than that, but if it helps your vision or your eyesight or makes you like Popeye or something, why not eat your spinach? It's just something to, try out. And especially if you know somebody, I think it would help them tremendously. Confusion, loss of consciousness. Now, if we're talking loss of consciousness, now seizures, there is people that have seizures, and it ain't always a kicking convulsive seizure, but they just pass out. Now, some of this I would say could be demonic, and some of this could be what your body's trying to tell you. But your body's trying to tell you something regardless. If you're having seizures, your body's trying to say, hey, pay attention to me or we're going to have bad things coming. And sometimes if you don't pay attention to it, there's going to be bad things coming. So, you have to be very careful of that. Loss of consciousness. you probably need to really go see a doctor and go get some blood work and go see what's going on. And there's nothing wrong with trying this, but please, if you're, if you're having these major problems, you probably need a little bit more than, a little bit more than this. The risk of experiencing hypoglycemia is greater in diabetics who have eaten less than usual, exercised more than usual, or consumed alcohol. So for all you alcoholics, there you go. But a lot of this thing, honestly, we can probably close up there, but a lot of these things, of course, your blood sugar, because what does your liver do? Your liver and alcohol and all those things don't mix very good. But the main thing is not trying to prognose or diagnose or do the main thing that you need if you have these problems is find what's wrong with you, first of all, and know what's wrong if you have blood work, if you have these things, if you know you have this, or if you're just borderline, or if you just know you have a few of these small problems, then there's nothing wrong with taking a little bit of this and trying to help yourself out. Because again, most of these doctors and most of these places are not for the cure. They're more for, they want you to come back every week, every month, every whenever. And these things here, to the best of my study, is, like a 4 to 6 to 8 weeks tops program. Yes, you have to have a disclaimer. You have to say, go see your doctor, go get your blood work, go do all this. I'm not a PhD. I just play one on the internet, because if we're not careful, and that's sad too, because your doctor don't say that, right? When you go to your doctor, he don't say, hey, you know what? I'm not the smartest man in the world, and I don't really know other than the blood work and all that, but they can even get that wrong. And I would submit to you that there's people that's being diagnosed wrong every day, and they're not giving them the right thing for it because they don't want you to have it. But yes, go see your doctor, get your blood work, see what you're doing, and don't just take baskets full of these things or spoons full or shovels full. They come with directions, most of them. They have what you should take, and I would submit to you that you should take even less than that to make sure it doesn't hurt your body. So again, this is not the Dr. Greggy hour or any of that stuff. This is just me sharing what I have learned and what I'm searching for and what I'm finding, and things that you may not have heard of, right? I don't have a doctor's office. I don't have a PhD in any of this. And even if I did, herbalist, you can get things online and print them up, or you can go to schools. But the biggest thing is finding out what is wrong with you, not me, right? I don't think there's too many people that know what's wrong with me. Get it? But anyway, in a truthful matter, right, we have to do what's right for you, and you need to know these things. I think it's a sad world that you can live all these years, you can be 30, 40 years old, 50 years old, whatever, and not know that these things even exist. You have to go to a doctor and talk with a doctor and then listen to what they say, and you're kind of left all to your own. You're kind of left to this doctor like he's your God, and if he messes up, you're just going to die. But if you study these out for yourself, print them up, learn what they really are, and learn how it can help you, then that's what's best for you, right? So we have went over pretty much everything and come up with the conclusion of, hopefully, again, you can be helped out with these things. Any of them any questions, any comments, we are trying to put little books together on these things and find out more and more about them and more about what will help you. Yes, and you can even go to that website or TV or YouTube or whatever, that a lot of these things that people know about, that it's not just something that I'm making up. And I wanted to show that too. A lot of these people are actually coming out with these things and letting us know these things, that these different herbs, these different plants, flowers, all these things, are pretty much edible. They're pretty much something that we can eat and take. And not only that, if you're out on your desert island, maybe there's something there that you can find to eat and it won't hurt you. And in these cases, it's something that maybe we can eat and not get into trouble, not find so many different things that are wrong, right? So I hope that makes sense. I hope that, again, I don't make anything out of this, but you can find some pretty good deals on the internet, on eBay or Amazon, and find, some of these people that bought the stuff and don't want it or tried something or anything like that, that it's a pretty good sized bag, and there's a lot there. If you need it, the little bitty bags go pretty quick, and it says right on it, how many pounds it is, how it boosts immunity, improves digestion, and promotes well-being. Well, there you go. We all want some well-being, right? So again, it's something to help you if you need it. And always, again, consult your doctor or your physician or your guru or whatever you talk to about these sort of things, right? So until next time, may Yahweh bless you. May his kindness shine upon you, and may he grant you shalom. Shalom, everybody.